Hi, Turf TV are here today at Dennis and SISIS in Derbyshire. We're going to take a detailed look at what goes into manufacturing and producing a mower suitable for use at a World Cup. We'll meet some of the people behind it, and we'll also look at some of the processes that are involved. I'm joined by Roger Mower from Dennis and SISIS. We're going to look now at this mower, which is the G860, a mower that I understand has got quite a World Cup pedigree, Roger.
Yes, it has. It started off, we sent over 27 of these over to South Africa in 2010, which cut all the main stadia over there, plus a number of the actual training grounds that the national team used. And then 4 years on from that, we sent over 30 machines again over to Brazil that maintained every single key stadia, all 12 of them over in Brazil, where all the matches were played.
So Roger, supplying a mower or a bunch of mowers for an event like the World Cup is an extremely prestigious thing to do. Must be something the business is very proud of.
Yeah, we're incredibly proud of it, Martin. To supply mowers to 2 consecutive World Cups as a company, each individual employees were incredibly proud of it. This is not just an achievement for the company, it relates to every single employee that's played their part in the machines, the building of them, the training of them out there, to the marketing side of them, to the spare parts of it, to the backup service. Everybody's played a part in the success of these machines at 2 prestigious worldwide global tournaments.
So a big vote of confidence, recognition of both the quality of the machinery,
absolutely,
the quality of the people,
and the people that are actually building them, the training they've had, the dedication they have to it, the pride they take in the job, and the pride that they take in the machines and working at Dennis and SISIS equipment. Yes.
And a great advert for great British manufacturing.
Absolutely, we're very proud to be able to put the Union Jack on every machine that goes out, and we like to think that we fly that Union Jack across the globe. I'm
now joined by Neil Cope, who's production manager here. You're going to tell us a little bit about what it takes to get a mower through production and suitable for performing at a World Cup final.
Okay, we get all the parts together first, and then these all come in, they're all stored line side. All the parts come in powder coated. Then the guys have set assembly procedures, picking lists. They do it all through formal procedures down the assembly line. This is done through a cellular build, so we can kit out depending on the volume of the orders. We can have 1 guy on the assembly, 2, 3, depending upon the size of the order, so we can flex it around.
Okay, Neil, so we're here now on the assembly line. Can you talk us through the assembly process?
Yes, the first part of the process is to build up the roller assemblies, and then we have different modular builds of different sizes of machines. So the side plates, the bed plates, the engine assemblies, these are all variations of one theme really. Then we had the power unit to it, which are different variations as well. For the G860, they're all Honda powered engines, so very good, reliable engines. Then as it goes down the assembly line, we'll add in the cutting cylinder to it, then the handle assemblies, and then at the end of it is all the setup and the tweaks and getting all the cut correct for it. And then the machines are all run off, all tested, ready for dispatch and off to the World Cup.
Brilliant. So just as a team and an individual, how does it make you feel knowing that you've actually put together something that's mowed the grass for the World Cup?
It's fantastic. It's a great achievement for everybody. We've got a good, flexible workforce here, very proud of what they do. We've invested quite a lot of money in getting different assembly techniques, right through to better health and safety for the guys. It's very proud for the whole team.
Working with reliable quality suppliers is obviously very, very important. How do you actually choose somebody? What's the criteria you look for in a good supplier?
It's based on quality, cost and delivery, and also we like to use a local supply base. It keeps things British, is very, very important to us as a company. We have the odd exception, for example, Honda engine is the market leading engine, So that's what we give the customer, because that's what the customer wants. But the quality side is absolutely key. Without the flow of the correct parts, then we can't make the correct machines at the correct time that the customer requires it. So quality systems imperative, deliveries very imperative. Literally the flow of parts or anything like that is absolutely key. We have a lot of stocking agreements in place with suppliers. We've changed quite a lot of suppliers in the last few years so that we have better long-term relationships with these people, so that they will hold stock at their company on our behalf, which has reduced the lead times for delivery to our assembly lines. In some cases that's gone from 12 weeks delivery time down to 2 to 3 weeks delivery time, which is quite significant for us to be able to be a lot more flexible. But the key is the quality. Without quality components you can't plan anything, you can't make a quality end product without a quality supply of products. So
quality products, preferably British.
Absolutely.
We've now been joined by Richard Allen, Director of All British Precision, who supply component parts to Dennis for the G860 mower. Richard's going to show us around the place, meet some of the people behind the manufacturing and some of the processes. So shall we go and have a look at it?
Yeah, let's go.
Great. So Richard, can you tell us a bit about the people that are behind the manufacturing here? So for instance, how many staff have you got?
Yeah, we've got 10 people here. We've got Vicky that runs the office, she's front of house, handles the telephone, the sales orders, the purchasing. We've got 7 great machinists, real top-notch guys that operate the most state-of-the-art equipment. We've got Ray, who's been with us for many years. He does the fitting, bending and rolling of sheet metal. And finally, we've just taken on 2 apprentices to start to fill some of the skills gaps that we've got.
Richard's now brought us to the inspection room, which is the hub and the nerve centre of the quality control side of the business here. So Richard, can you tell us a bit about how you make sure the mowers that leave the Dennis factory are up to the rigours of the market?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it's about standardisation and standard working practices. And to do that, last year we took the decision to attain our ISO 9001 accreditation, which demonstrates that we do comply to industry standard in inspection, calibration, goods receiving, stock control, purchasing, sales. Everything's documented in a quality manual which everyone adheres to, and it just gives everyone a level playing field. We get audited externally to ensure that we comply with what we say we're doing, and it demonstrates to the whole market that we attain that accreditation. On top of that, we've got some state-of-the-art equipment out there. To utilise those to the best efficiency, we need some good inspection gear as well, and that's what this inspection room's all about. We've got a CMM behind us which measures accuracies up to 3 microns. All the components get checked as they go through the production and signed off by the inspector.
So Richard, a manufacturing operation like this takes constant investment and a pretty big investment. I understand you've made an investment fairly recently in machinery like this.
Yeah, absolutely. In the last 2 years we've invested £1.2 million worth of kit into All British Precision. That's bought us 5 machines tools. We bought 3 of the latest sliding head machines from Star GB that are located just down the road. Those machines are fantastic, from 9-axis up to 12-axis turn mill machines, which means we can automate production. We can utilise the hours that we're not here through lights out production. They take a spar, feed it in through, it comes out as a finished component ready to be dispatched, which almost eliminates manual handling. They're very accurate machines. They'll hold accuracies of less than 10 microns. In addition to that, we've lately invested in the DMG Morisiki machines, which we can see behind us. This is probably one of their flagship machines utilised by the F1 teams, such as Red Bull. These are much the same as the sliders. It's very automated, multi-axis turn mill machining. A component like that, to do in a traditional way, we'd have to do in multi-setups on multiple machines with multiple people. With that, we stick a billet in this end, and it comes out as a finished part that end. That's it straight off the machine, so you can see that's not touched by human hands. That gives us greater accuracy, repeatability and much more efficient way of manufacturing.
Richard, another important area of investment for any business is training, and I understand that's an area you're particularly passionate about. Can you give us a bit more on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We take our training very seriously. We've invested, as we just said, a lot of money in the equipment, and we need the best engineers to run that equipment. The new gear is very complicated to use. It's not rocket science, but it's getting pretty damn close. So all the engineers have gone on some extensive training courses with the companies that supply the kit. We also recognise there's a skills shortage in the UK for good engineers, so now we've approached Derby College, and we're now embarking on an apprentice training scheme. 2 months ago we started our first trainees on the job, and they're doing great, and they're going to be our future engineers. We're very proud of them. Our passion is to put the great back into British manufacture, making our engineers the respected profession that they deserve.
A sentiment we all agree with, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, we've had a really good look around the place, and thank you for that. I guess an appropriate thing to perhaps finish on is any business is only as good as its people. You've obviously got some key individuals. I understand you're also looking perhaps to attract more people to the business. Can you tell us a bit about what you're doing there?
Yes, we are looking to recruit more engineers. It is difficult to find good engineers, as I say. That's why we've undertook the apprentice scheme. But we are looking at a grant with Derbyshire Enterprise Growth Scheme for a further investment in the company, some further investment in similar machine tools, which will require an extra 10 people for the company. We'll be looking to put on a second shift and double our turnover effectively.
So all that investment in machinery still needs skilled labour to look after it.
Absolutely.
And I understand you've had a number of employees that have been with you for some time.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Ray, a local character. He's been with the company 40 years now. He's not been in another role, I don't think. He's been here man and boy. We've got a whole range of local employees ranging from 17 years old now up to 64. We cover every spectrum.
So a great British business with great people from the local region.
Absolutely.
Roger, getting a mower to a World Cup in Brazil, long way away from here in Derbyshire. What actually goes into getting to that stage?
It's not an easy thing to do, to supply all those mowers halfway across the world. One of the key things that we needed to sort out pretty urgently was to find the right partner over in Brazil. A couple of my colleagues, Toby Clark and Ewan Wilson, made a numerous amount of trips over there with one of the specific aims, amongst others, was to find the right partner. We settled and worked very closely with a company called Greenext, which were based out in Sao Paulo, which was home to the venue there was home to the opening game, and also to a number of other group games, quarterfinals and semi-finals. And we struck up a very good working relationship with them. We also worked very closely with three key local contractors, and those three local contractors were looking after all 12 main stadia. And the partnership that we had with all three contractors and the dealership is very, very important, because that ensures that the machines are used in the correct way, they have the correct backup, the people are trained in the correct way, and hence therefore the pitches look how they should look for a World Cup.
Just one question I wouldn't mind asking is 12 different venues.
Yeah.
Were they all uniform in terms of the surface? Was there any adjustments that needed to be made to the machinery?
They were all pretty uniformed. There are different grass species that was used in Sao Paulo compared to the other venues. Along with the 34-inch G860 machine, we supplied everyone with an 8-blade and everyone with a tungsten-tipped vertical cassette. So it's pretty much the same setup in terms of machinery as what we had in South Africa 4 years earlier, and is what is used at numerous other venues around the UK and the world. But in terms of trying to uniform them, then yes, everybody was trained the same way. All the specifics to meet the requirements of the pitches were all the same, and I think everybody agreed that they all played extremely well and they all looked great as well. Just
to explore the training side of things a little bit more, what did that involve? Did you send people out?
As I mentioned previously, a couple of my colleagues, Toby Clark and Ewan Wilson, have been out there numerous visits, and the part of the training there is they trained the dealer, which was Greenext, on actually how to maintain the machine, and also what kind of spare parts that they needed to carry in case of emergencies, because emergencies do happen from time to time. So there was the training aspect with the dealership in terms of being able to maintain and service the machines. There was then the training element that the guys did with the actual contractors themselves on how to get the best out of the machines so that they actually met the criteria that had been set for them in terms of the performance and standards of the pitch themselves. So we were quite fortunate that we were able to put a lot of time, a lot of emphasis in there, and yes, there's a number of trips out there, but it was very well received. Toby and Ewan have got a wealth of knowledge on the machinery, and everything went down very, very well. And it's a key element of any tournament that we do there, is that support aspect. That we like to make sure that we give everybody as much support as possible, and the after-sales support is just as important.
A big part of any global sporting event these days is the legacy that it leaves. What's the legacy from Brazil, and what part of Dennis played in that?
The legacy from Brazil is that basically all the 12 stadia had to commit to a 5-year plan where they would ensure the maintenance of the pitches themselves were exactly the same following the World Cup as what they were during the World Cup. And that's basically the legacy that every stadia had to commit to. Our machines are obviously out there. Our connection with the dealership and the contractor is still extremely strong, and we will continue to support those with after-sales care service all the time while those machines are out there and that legacy continues.
We've had a great day here with Dennis, finding out what it takes to get a mower to a World Cup. Hopefully you found it as interesting as I have, and you'll find more interesting things on Turf TV at turfbusiness.co.uk.